Hi friends, welcome back. Here in this lecture, we're going to learn about Java variables and Java data types. So let's start. For writing code in a programming language, we need variables to store certain values. Suppose we want to devise a calculator program which may calculate various operations like addition, multiplication, division based on different values provided by the user. Say we want to add two numbers or three numbers. In that case, we need to store those values in certain format. For the purpose, we have variables. The Java variables are containers that holds a value during the program execution. A variable is assigned with a data type. The data type here is integer, float, character, byte, double, or boolean. Or it may be also long or unsigned, assigned, various kind of things. We are going to learn about this data types and the variable here. So the syntax int value equals to 50. So the 50 is the number numerical value that we want to assign or store or use throughout the program with the name as value. Whenever we want to print value 50, we will be using this keyword value because this is a variable, user defined variable. We can write v, we can write x, we can write anything in place of value. But the type that value variable is storing, the integer value, it will be denoted by the data type. So we are writing int here. So there are different types of variables. The local variables, the instance variables, the static variables, these are different categories on which the variables can be defined. Data types are of integer, float, character, double types, and the variables are for local, instance, and static variable. Uh, we are currently writing any program in the main function that we have learned in the earlier lecture. The main function is the first function which is to be executed by the compiler, and any variable which is defined or declared inside the body of the method is called a local variable. The current method. Suppose we are in a different method, say xyz. So the variable which is defined in the xyz function or method will be considered as a local variable for that function. We have instance variables that are declared inside the class but outside the body of the method. So in any program, Java program, we have a class, we have a function or method. Outside the main method or any other method, the variables which are defined are instance variables. We are going to learn about these things. They are not declared as static, when then they are considered instance variables. And static variables, that the value of variable you could not change, and it could not be local variable. It has to be defined outside the class. So you can create a single copy of a static variable and share among different instances of the class. So the variable in the program execution, we may change the value of the variables. We will be learning in the loops and different sections. So don't worry. Just get these three categories, or if you do not get, these are the lectures denoted having different meanings in different contexts. So here is the introduction. You get these categories, and when you are writing a loop or other complex programs, you could refer back to this lecture and find out what is the difference between local and static variable. In the loop, we are going to use a value, integer value like I, which will be used for incremental purpose. So the value is being again changed and changed over a time. So when we don't want a variable to be changed, it will be used as a static. You're going to understand it in a later time period. So skip that thing. Here we have a typical example for defining the data types and variables. So we have a class A. You have to define a class. You have to provide a method, main method, public static void main method, and there we have different variables. So this is the syntax. The int value equals to 50 that we have seen earlier. Example, it is a variable. The variable is called value, storing a value 50 of the integer type. Similarly, we may have another variable, say x, having different value, say 100, and it could be made static. The static keyword could be added before the data type name. So the static value could not be changed. We could not modify the value of x during a program execution. However, we can change the value of non-static variables. Static variables could not be changed. In the later section, we have a method which is defined, a void method, and here we have the integer y equals to x or y equals to 90. So the variable y is a local variable of method, this method. And the above methods are not local methods, so they are called instance method and static variables. Variable and static variables. Similarly, we can have a long range of instance variables, static and local variables throughout our program. So here comes the understanding of data types. We have variables, we can provide any value. So how we can define what kind of variable values they are storing. So the data types are generally divided into two categories, the primitive data types and non-primitive data types. The primitive data types are the basic data types that are defined in any programming language. They may be numeric or non-numeric. The non-numeric values contains character and boolean. The character may store a single character value, say A, B, C, D, any value, any alphabet, being it small or capital or different special symbols. And the boolean will store only two values, true or false, or could be said as yes or no for any logical operations. It could be performed using AND, NOR, and logical gates, or as well as in simple scenario. Suppose we want to execute certain section of the code when an input is provided by the user. So we will take if the value of integer is true, it will be executed, otherwise not executed. In other cases, we have numeric values to store numeric functions to perform numeric operations. The numeric values can be integer or float. Float means decimal values. The integer could be a single byte, short integer that we have used int, the long to store a long number of integers, and a floating point which may be of double or float. Double is the numerically double of float. It could store uh, values preceding a decimal point in the both directions. So we can use float for adding storing um, different values, the floating point values. Then we have non-primitive data types that are not defined in general programming language. It will be defined using a set of rules based on class or different advanced functions, but could be used by a general programmer as a primitive function. These are strings, arrays, and user-defined classes. So the strings are a set of characters. With non-numeric data type, character char, we can store a single character. But if we want to store a complete sentence or complete word, we can store it using the strings method, string of character to be short. And then we can have array, a sequence of integer or floating point values, or any character or boolean values. The array is simply a table, a one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, or multi-dimensional. It could be performed. We can create matrices out of arrays or different things. Perform wide range of mathematical as well as a different set of operations. The entire data structure is based on this concept. Then we have user-defined classes that are also defined as non-primitive. We are going to understand each one of them in the coming sections and it will perform using practicals. So here is an example of different variables. We have a class consisting different kinds of variables. Uh, we have the long value uh, denoting preceding with the L. We have the float value. We have the boolean value. Boolean takes a true or false value. We have the character value. Character has been any single character. We have the string. Any string could be stored here. Then there is a range of numeric data types in Java. For byte, we could have 8 bits of size and can store values from -128 to +127. It can store any value. So it would not be storing plus 130 value in the byte. So be careful. Suppose you have two byte variables having values 20 and 480, 20 and 127. It could not be added and displayed as a byte. It would be displayed as a short. Then the short could be having a value between 32,768 minus and 32,767 in the positive range, having size 16 bit each. Then we have integer, long, float, and double values. So for advanced mathematical operations, for scientific calculations and such things, we need double, float, and long values. But for normal things, we don't need these things. And then there comes our typecasting. The typecasting is used to convert the data type of a certain data type variable. Suppose we have a variable called a integer and we want to typecast it to float or integer. We may typecast it using the bracket symbols. We have the floating value, say f, which is a float variable, having value 18.92 in the float value. And we want to display it as an integer function. We have to define a new variable with this different format, different data type, say integer, and assign it with the int typecast of the f variable. So it will be displayed as here. System out println would be used to display the variable value on the screen. So the first line will display 18.92, the value of f, which is float, and then the second line will display a, which is 18 on the screen, the integer part of that thing, not the decimal part. Then there comes a Unicode system, which is a universal standard for character encoding that we use in the most written languages. Earlier in programming languages like C or more primitive languages, they were using ASCII code, American Standard Code Information Interchange, supporting only alphanumeric characters of the English language systems or Roman script. But with the Unicode, we have a more control over different languages and internationalization support as well. So now we can write programs having syntax like languages in Japanese, Chinese, Hindi, Bengali, Punjabi, Tamil, Telugu, Arabic, or different part sets of the world's language. Different languages are being included, different character sets could be identified in the Unicode system. Java is a programming language that supports Unicode. So you could use and define the systems or softwares that will be designated for a different set of audience. Suppose you want to develop a software for Chinese audience in the Chinese language. You will be coding in the plain English language, but you could use the syntax of Chinese languages as a user display mode or different things. So the Java would support the designing of that software, which could not be done with C or C++ in any way. So this is the power of Java. We learned about the variables and the data types. On the typecasting, we can change the values. Uh, we are going to perform the practical session. So till then, keep learning and keep moving ahead.